Hello, it's Thursday, November 24th. You're watching The Big Story with me, Chao Suan. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel to stay up to date with our live news updates. Now, long-time opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim has been sworn in as Malaysia's Prime Minister, 5 days after the country voted in a general election that led to a hung parliament. Earlier today, the palace announced that the king had made the decision to appoint Mr. Anwar as premier, after conferring with other rulers in a special meeting of the nation's 9 state monarchs. In the end, most of the political parties agreed to the king's proposal for a unity government, ending days of deadlock. ST's Malaysia Bureau Chief Shannon Teo joins us from Kuala Lumpur. Thank you for joining us, Shannon. So, Mr. Anwar has just been sworn in as the new Prime Minister of Malaysia. What will this mean for the country, and what are some changes you predict he might be quick to make?
Well, I think the first and foremost thing is, yes, it's a great story for Anwar Ibrahim. After 24 years of waiting and trying his best to get into the top office, and he's finally there leading Malaysia. So it's a hell of a journey for him, an incredible story. But the kind of changes and how does it matter for Malaysia? It's more in the aspect of that it's a unity government. So Pakatan Harapan hasn't won an outright majority, as we all know, and this government will have to join forces with the likes of Barisan Nasional, which is supposed to be Pakatan Harapan's nemesis, right? With people from GPS, the Sarawak Coalition, so on and so forth. Many other parties are set to join this unity government. So the makeup is unclear now. But the question here is this power sharing, right? Anwar Ibrahim will be Prime Minister. We know that. Who's going to be his deputy or deputies in the plural? So this is something new as well. This promise of having deputy prime ministers from Sabah and Sarawak from East Malaysia. And so how do you rebalance this makeup of the cabinet? That's one thing. And the second thing is that on the campaign trail, Anwar has promised quite a fair bit of what you might call goodies for the public if he's elected as prime minister. And also there are a lot of things inside the Pakatan Manifesto. There are a lot of things inside the Barisan Nasional Manifesto. So whose manifesto takes precedence? Which are the policies you can agree on? And that's got to be the first thing that they kind of have to duke out right now.
So to build on what you said earlier, it looks like a unity government is the way Malaysia is going. And while we might not know for certain, can we run through who you think is likely to make up this government? And if there's any notable names you predict could be in some of the more prominent roles?
Well, I think as part of the deal brokered between Barisan Nasional and Pakatan Harapan, I think we're likely to see BN's deputy chairman, who is also UMNO deputy president, Muhammad Hassan, becoming deputy prime minister. And we know that the same problems which dogged Zahid Hamidi, the actual UMNO president, prior to the election, he's still got a graft charge that he has to get around. That's probably going to disqualify him from playing a prominent role in government. So Muhammad, or Tokmat as is popularly known, likely to be deputy prime minister. There's likely to be one more deputy prime minister from Sarawak. One of their most senior MPs is Fadillah Yusof, and he was the works minister in the last cabinet. The prized portfolio of finance ministry, we're likely to see quite a fair bit of wrangling about that. If it comes from UMNO, it would likely be Johari Ghani. He was the second finance minister under the Najib regime. Or it could be Rafizi Ramli from PKR. Now, he's the deputy president and widely credited for Pakatan's success, for their ability to actually hold on to most of the 90 seats that they had before parliament was dissolved. There are a lot of other key portfolios, but at this stage, still too early to see who is going to take up what. But I can tell you the lobbying has already begun.
So let's talk about Anwar specifically. From political prodigy to protest leader to prisoner and now Prime Minister, he has been waiting 24 years to take the reins, and he has had perhaps more than his fair share of controversy. What kind of PM do you think he'll be, and what sort of personal impact do you think his background will have on his leadership?
Well, Anwar, in all these years, whenever he's been disappointed, he's tried to be PM for so many attempts now and so many years, so many elections. He's developed this kind of cliche which he likes to trot out. that he is the most patient politician you'll find in Malaysia. As you mentioned, he's gone to prison, he's come out, he's had to forgive and even work with people like Mahathir, who people say precipitated his downfall in 1998. So I think he may bring some of these characteristics into the new government to be, in a sense, generous and kind, forgiving to enemies that he's fought for so many years, and possibly try to take that as a stepping stone towards. A lot of Malaysians are hoping for that this is a kind of a national reconciliation government. The fact that they've been able to bring on GPS from Sarawak despite very deep enmity with Pakatan Harapan, especially DAP. We've seen DAP leaders, Anthony Lok, the Secretary General, and even Guan Eng, the chairman, making very public apologies to Sarawak about statements that they might have made in the past attacking the Sarawak state government. So this kind of, some people are saying it feels like it's Hari Raya already because people are issuing apologies to each other, asking people for forgiveness. Then maybe we can be a great reset, right? And we know that there's been a lot of ethnically charged rhetoric over the past, not just this parliamentary period that we since 2018, but even maybe up to 10 years before this. So can the country come together? Can it come to a new understanding? I think that would be a huge legacy if Anwar can actually achieve that. I mean, of course, we have the economic questions that we're going to face any government that won this election. The fiscal problem, post-COVID recovery, and the hyperinflation and the geopolitical issues that you're seeing around the world is affecting everyone's economy. Those are challenges in front of him, but he stands to actually leave a very long and lasting legacy during his term as Prime Minister.
Sounds like the work has just begun for the political players in Malaysia. Thank you so much for your valuable insight, Shannon. This has been Malaysia Bureau Chief Shannon Teo. Now in local news, for those in the civil service, this just in. Civil servants will receive a 1.1 month year-end bonus. Junior grade officers will get an additional one-time payment of $700. The government will also continue to pay the non-pensionable annual allowance of 1 month to all civil servants. In the coming weeks, more than 1.5 million households in Singapore will each receive 12 antigen rapid test kits in the post after the latest distribution exercise got underway this week. In a social media post today, Health Minister Ong Ye Kung urged Singaporeans to test themselves for COVID-19, especially with the rise in social interactions during the year-end holiday season. The Chingay Parade is back in 2023 and it will feature more than 10,000 residents, artists and performers. Set to take place on February 3rd and 4th, the parade will mark the return of colourful, large-sized floats. The National Education Show for primary school pupils will also return after a 2-year break. Can't wait to see what's in store. And expect the unexpected. That seems to be the recurring theme of the 2022 FIFA World Cup, as Japan pulled off the impossible by beating favourites Germany 2-1. Spain kicked off their campaign in style with a 7-0 victory over Costa Rica, making it the most goals that Spain have ever scored in a World Cup match. Day 5 will see Brazil in action against Serbia and a Portugal team led by Cristiano Ronaldo going up against Ghana. And those are our top stories for today. Visit straitstimes.com for more news and our YouTube channel for more videos. Subscribe by hitting the red button below. I'm Chao Suen and I'll see you tomorrow on The Big Story.